All right, what's going on, everybody? As you know, there's been a lot of talk about the new 2022 Lowrider ST, talking about that performance mini bagger, performance Lowrider S. But today, we're going to take a look at an actual built-out performance Lowrider S. All right, everybody, what is up? What is up? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. We finally got a nice day here in southeastern PA. We got a chance to stop by Brandywine Harley Davidson. You can see their service department here in the back, hanging out with our guy Dan here at Brandywine Harley. And today he's going to let us take a look at his Lowrider S right here. And so the reason that I'm saying we're taking a look at a real performance Lowrider S today is because obviously, you know, the 2022 Lowrider ST has come out. Obviously there's been some changes to that with the 117 engine. You got the bigger engine in it now, and you got a little bit of extra travel, a little bit of extra suspension in the back. But is it really that much difference? Is it really that much more performance oriented from the factory? Of course, some of those factors are going to give you that little bit extra performance from the factory, but I'm calling this a real performance Lowrider S today because we're going to take a look at some of the modifications that he's done, from suspension to exhaust to rear suspension, all that good stuff. He's got this thing built out in a really nice way. We're going to run through some of these modifications here, and then we're going to take this thing out for a spin, see if we can tell any differences from stock. I have been on the stock Lowrider S, obviously, so we're going to see how some of this compares to a stock version in the way that he's got this built out. I feel like this is a much more actual performance Lowrider S. So let's go ahead and start it off right here at the front of the bike first. So the first thing we did here is he's got the front suspension replaced with the Olin suspension. This has it raised up about an inch, and he was telling me he's got the little band indicators down here so you can kind of see what type of compression you're getting when this is compressing down. That's a little indicator there to help you know where that compression is if you're going to bottom out and things like that. Next up, sticking with the front of the bike, front and rear actually, we've got the Avon Cobra tires here. I really like the look of these. Really cool design, really cool look, a lot of good grip and performance with these tires. I'd actually like to throw a set of these on my Sportster myself. So then next up, coming down through, taking a look at some of the engine modifications here. Obviously we've got the Vance & Hines 2-in-1 competition performance pipe. He does have that hooked up with the Stage 2. He went with the Screamin' Eagle horsepower cam, so I'm going to be excited when we hop on here in just a second to see how that goes. Taking it to the rear, taking it to the back of the bike again, we've got the Olin suspension monoshock underneath here. We've got the preload adjuster where you can make some of those adjustments to really fine tune that, hone in that suspension, hone in that rebound specifically to what you're looking for and specifically for what you're riding for that day. Then of course, next up we've got the Saddleman seat here, San Diego Customs. Always a good look with the Saddleman step-up seat, San Diego Customs option. You've got the gripper material back here, really help you stay locked into place while you're really getting into some of those turns, really cracking on that throttle a little bit. So the crazy thing we were talking about earlier is I was taking a look at these pegs. Look at the way he's riding this thing. He's got these pegs shaved down. He's got a little bit of the foot bracket scraping on the ground here. So when I hop on here, I'm not going to be riding it as crazy as that, but can't wait to hop on this thing in just a minute. So there you have it. There was a quick look at some of the modifications Dan has to his Lowrider S here. Like I said, Stage 2, upgraded suspension. So we're going to put some of that to the test right now. Stay tuned. Alrighty, here we go. One last look at this thing before we take off on it. Let's fire this thing up and give you a little shot of that sound. I love the sound of that Vance & Hines 2-in-1 pipe. I know they make it for the Sportster. I would love to have it on my Sportster. A little horsepower cam in there. All right, let's take it for a ride. Alrighty, so we are stopped at a light here. First thing I'm noticing is he said he's got about an inch higher on the front and about 2 inches in the back, and I can definitely tell because I'm on the balls of my feet right now. I've got regular shoes on, probably should have boots, but anyways, I'm kind of on like the balls of my feet. It's not too bad, it's fairly comfortable, it's not really that bad, but definitely can notice a difference over stock. Alrighty, here we go. Just popped it up into third gear. So yeah, I mean, this thing's definitely taken off pretty quick right there. Suspension actually feels real cushy over these bumps. You can see some of these bumps that I'm hitting right through here on this kind of straightaway. All right, so let's hit a little acceleration in third gear. Wow. All right, so far, you know, we went through first, second, third. You can definitely feel the thing just keep pulling. I was probably shifting even a little bit too early. So we're in third gear right now. Yeah, pulling up to this light that's about to turn red. That thing, it was ready to just keep pulling, man. All right, so we'll take off in first gear here, give it a little crack. Wow, man. Up into third gear, this thing is just ready to roll. I really like that horsepower cam. I mean, you can feel the acceleration and the quickness coming there, as opposed to maybe like a torque cam. Yep, you can still feel at a stop right here. You can feel a little bit difference over stock with that cam. It makes that little bit difference in that lope and that spin right there. You can definitely tell. Alrighty, so now obviously I'm not going to crank on this thing too much on these back roads here. I'm not going to crank on somebody else's bike like that, but we'll see here. So this suspension over stock is definitely better. I mean, this is like super cushy. You can feel just a little bit better being elevated up those couple inches, getting that extra travel on there. Like I said, I'm not going to be using this to its full performance, obviously. Very nice setup here. You got a lot of confidence coming through, in and out of some of the turns and stuff, because a little extra power on the bike here, and you're really powering out of some of these turns. That's really nice. You know this power is going to do its job. You know the suspension's going to do its job. So Dan was actually telling me he's got a lot of sport bike experience, so that's why he went with the horsepower cam. He likes a little bit more acceleration kind of at the beginning, off the start. He wants to build up that speed real quick. And that's also why he wanted to upgrade the suspension on this bike, and I think he did a really good job in accomplishing that, because you can definitely tell with that extra lift, it's going to definitely give you more lean angle. The sound of this thing is just amazing. When you get on this 2-into-1 pipe, oh my goodness, this thing is an absolute blast. Man, if anybody wants to build out their lowrider S like this, I would highly recommend it, because this thing is definitely a blast over stock. Man, the ease that this thing just handles around these turns is just so impressive. But then again, you got to remember, like, I'm coming from a Sportster, the Iron 1200. I'm not really working with a whole lot right there. Not much lean angle, not much power. So when I get on these bikes, I'm like, oh my goodness. The luxury, the life of these better, more enhanced motorcycles. Yeah, so just rolled to that stop there. Again, we've got about 2 inches in the back, an extra inch in the front, and you can definitely tell. I mean, I'm definitely, I don't know if you can see it in the shadow of this truck. I'm on the balls of my feet, tippy toes, but it's not uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like unstable or unbalanced or anything. You definitely notice the lift with that increased suspension. All right, here we go. Let's give it a rip here. That is fun for sure. That's only third gear, and we're at about 65, 70. I would love to have the opportunity to have a bike like this. I feel like it would really kind of enhance your skills, give you a little bit more opportunity to like really push yourself to the limit. I feel like, I mean, the Sportster, like I said, don't get me wrong, you can modify the thing out and do whatever you want with it and kind of turn it a little bit more performance oriented, but it still has its limitations, and it's been really great for me all these years to really kind of build those foundational skills. But when I get on a bike like this, man, I start to kind of think like, you know, I'd like to be able to maybe ride like this a little bit more often and really kind of push some of the skills to the next level. Man, honestly, I don't even know where I'm at. He's gonna think I stole this thing. I've been gone for a little while now, riding this thing around. Probably about time to get back, I guess. All right, so I just pulled over in this nice little park here. We're gonna take one last look at the bike, just hopped off. So this thing is an absolute blast to ride. Oh my God. So just to recap, we got the Olin suspension in the front. We got the Avon Cobra tires. We've got the Stage 2 Screaming Eagle horsepower cam. We've got the 2-into-1 Vance and Highs competition swept up exhaust. We got the San Diego custom seat here, and man, he's got this thing built out real nice. And like I said, if you take a look at a stock lowrider ST, they're pitching that as performance, but I don't know, I think you kind of got to do some of this stuff here to really make it performance, raise that suspension up. You can see how high this back suspension is raised up here. He said that's about 2 inches, so... But man, this thing was an absolute blast to ride. Good test ride out here today. So we're going to get this thing back to Brandywine Harley Davidson. We're going to get this thing back to Dan. He's probably wondering where I'm at. I think I stole his bike or something. But we're going to head back there. So make sure you check those guys out. I'm going to drop all their info down there in the comments. I'll drop Dan info down there. Make sure you check them out if you're in the market for a bike in southeastern PA or wherever you're at. Make sure you hit those guys up. As always, thanks to those guys for letting us come in and ride his bike today. So yeah, we're gonna take a few pictures of this thing. That's gonna wrap this one up. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you ride safe out there. Make it a good one, guys. It's the Moto Jawn. We'll see y'all on down the road. Peace.